Okay, good morning everyone, and Hazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Monday morning, and welcome back everyone from the holiday of Shavuot, as we, Baruch Hashem, are ready for another year of growing, another year of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of discovering more about ourselves through the beautiful Torah, the lessons that are contained deep within our holy text. Our parasha, my friends, Parashat Behaalotecha. Please turn to Parashat Behaalotecha. Parasha begins with the mitzvah of lighting of the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. Every morning, every night, the Kohen would light the candles that were in the Beit HaMikdash. There was the menorah, the 7 candles. That was part of the daily service. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. So God says to Moshe, Daber el Aharon, please speak to Aharon. Okay. Just open 1 second. The other Humash, this one is of the Or Hayim that I'm using, has a lot of pages to flip in between. Each pasuk, a lot of commentary. Dabir el Aharon ve'amarta elav. God says to Moshe to tell Aharon and tell him the following: Behaalotecha et hanerot el mul penei hamenorah ya'iru shev'at hanerot. Please make sure, Aharon, that when you light the candles every night, that they should all face the middle candle. El mul penei menorah ya'iru shev'at hanerot. All 7 should face the inside. Vaya'as ken Aharon, and Aharon did this. El mul penei menorah ha'ela neroteha. He kindled the lamp towards the inner one. Ka'asher siva Adonai et Moshe, just like God told Moshe. V'zeh ma'aseh menorah, and by the way, the menorah was hammered out of gold. From its base to its flowers, it is hammered out. According to the vision that Hashem showed Moshe, so did he make the menorah. So our parasha, although it has very little to do, by the way, with the Beit HaMikdash, with the Mishkan, really our parasha, if you read it, and by the way, I recommend always, before any class, but also this one, to read the whole parasha to yourself. Maybe it's a good idea on Sunday morning, or even Monday morning, whenever, to read the whole parasha, just from beginning to end. Even without going deep into every pasuk, even if you don't understand everything, just read the whole parasha, get a general outline of what's going on. It'll help you appreciate the class much more, because you know the story, and now you can go and psychoanalyze every detail. But first, you need to know the whole story. So if you read the whole story this week, Parashat Behaalotecha doesn't really deal with the Mishkan. It actually deals a lot with the complaints of the Jewish people. It deals with the Jewish people leaving Har Sinai. They're about to journey towards the Promised Land. They're just 11 days out of Israel, so they're right there. They're leaving Har Sinai. Right? There's a lot of stuff. Our parasha, by the way, our parasha is a very complicated parasha. Just FYI, the parasha deals with so many different moving pieces. And it's hard to find one theme that flows through all of them. It looks like a bunch of different stories, different mitzvot, different ideas, just thrown into one parasha. But at least for parasha for today's class, the opening few psukim, they deal with mitzvah of Aharon, that he should light the menorah, and that the menorah, the 7 candles, should all face the middle one. Now, by the way, don't confuse this with the Hanukkah that you light in your house on the holiday of Hanukkah every year in December time. That Hanukkah, that's 8, first of all, plus the middle one, which is 9. That's not, has nothing to do with the shape of the menorah that was built in the Beit HaMikdash. The one in the Beit HaMikdash predated the miracle of Hanukkah. The miracle of Hanukkah, the reason today, the stores, they sell that eight lamp shaped menorah, is only because that's how many nights there are. There are 8 nights, so they made 8 bowls. They made 8 candles. If it was a 20-day holiday, they would have made 20. If it was 2, they would have made 2 bowls. Right? They made 8 because that's how many days the holiday is. The one in the Beit HaMikdash that they lit, starting here in the Mishkan with Aharon, they lit every single day, all 7. All 7 every day, forever. That's how it was. The mitzvah was every day. So this is, nice mitzvah. The Or Hayim, he says, a few questions. Number one, Lama kafal omar daber ve'amarta. Why does the pasuk begin? Daber el Aharon ve'amarta. Always, it's a good question that we need to ask. He always asks it, by the way, whenever it should be asked. Why does it say to speak and tell him? A double expression of telling. Why is that necessary? Also, milot shonot, different words, right? What's the right? Different verbs. Daber and amarta. Yitpa'er al pi divrehim. We could explain this based on the quote of our rabbis. Lama nismecha perasha menorah leperasha nisim. Really, very basic question. What is the perasha? What is this whole mitzvah of lighting the candles? What is that doing here? Why is it here? It doesn't belong here. It belongs where? Where would you think you would find such a pasuk? If I told you, by the way, there's a pasuk in the Torah that God tells Aharon when he lights the candle, it should be lit towards the middle candle. Where in the whole Torah would that mitzvah be found? I would guess, if I was a student who knew a little bit about the text of Chumash, I would say it would be at the end of the book of Shemot, because that's where the mitzvot, the commandments of how to perform in the Mishkan was. All the mitzvot are in the end. Perashat Tirumat, Perashat Tetzaveh, Perashat Vayakel, Perashat Pekudei. The last 4 out of the 5 Perashiyot in the book of Exodus, that's where this pasuk would be found. But no, it's all the way over here in the book of Bamidbar. Why? Our rabbis wondered this, and listen to what they have to say. Because at the end of last week's parasha, when we read about the inauguration of the Mishkan, opening day, so we read last week how each prince of the tribes, the 12 princes, 12 tribes, each prince on a different day brought his own special korban, inaugurating the Mishkan, right? And we just read it at the end of yesterday's parasha, Parashat Naso. That's why the parasha was so long, because each guy brought a korban, and there was 12 guys, and his korban was 6 psukim long, so 72 psukim. That's why the parasha was so long last week, right? The longest parasha of the year. So, what happened is, our rabbis say, Ra'a Aharon Hanukat Nesi'im. Aharon saw the inauguration of all of the princes. He was distressed. Halsha da'ato. He was very sad. Shelo haya imahem b'Hanukkah lo hu velo shifto. Did you notice this? Every tribe had a representative bring something to represent the people, to his tribe. Except for which tribe? Except for which Shevet? Shevet Levi. So Aharon didn't bring, and his tribe Levi didn't bring anything. So how'd you get 12, by the way? How do you get 12 tribes if Levi's not there? There's only 11. The answer is Yosef is divided into 2, Ephraim and Menashe. So you have really 11 in those 2, so it turns from 11 to 12. Okay? So what happens is, Aharon was sad. He saw yesterday everyone got a turn to bring something, to say to Hashem, welcome, welcome to the new world. Welcome to this world, Hashem. Come on in, come on down. Come on down. Okay, fine. So Aharon didn't have a chance. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So God says to Aharon, Hayecha, by your life, Shilcha gedolah mishelahim. Your portion, Aharon, is greater than their portion. She'ata madliku metiv et hanerot erev haboker. Because you light and you prepare every morning and every evening the menorah. And therefore, God was comforting Moshe. So Aharon, by telling him, don't worry that you didn't get a chance to do inauguration. You're going to do every single day. You're going to light the menorah. And therefore, he's indicating to Aharon that his daily menorah service is greater than the Nesi'im's inauguration offering. Ad kan, end quote. So this Midrash, Or HaHaim is bringing, Rashi brings it down as well. The Midrash is saying that there was a problem here, that Aharon was sad. Aharon felt bad. Why couldn't I be part of the inauguration? And then God comforted him by saying, don't worry, you have better than inauguration. You get to bring every day the lighting of the menorah. That's what it's doing here. That answers the question now. Why is it here? What is Behaalotecha, the mitzvah, the commandment to light the menorah? Why is that mentioned here? Very simple. It's here because it's coming in the aftermath of last week that Aharon didn't get to inaugurate. So now God says, yes, you inaugurate times 10. You're going to bring every day. You have much better than inauguration. Or Hayim doesn't like this answer of the Midrash. He says, Devrehim Sidichin Bi'ur, their answer needs really explanation. How does this make up for that? At the end of the day, in Ma'aseh HaMenorah Makbila Hanukkah, we have a problem here. The problem is Aharon wanted to be part of the inauguration. Yes? So what does he say? Don't worry, you're going to be with me every day. But that's not a comfort. Can I give you an example? Imagine president, he's inaugurated. President, opening day. So the president's inviting 5 people to speak at his inauguration. That's a big kavod. Imagine you get to be one of the 5. People would kill for that. People sign up. People will do whatever they can to be part of those 5. So now, only 5 people get to come and speak on the day that the president's inaugurated. There's one guy very close to the president. The president didn't pick him. So he comes, he says, I feel horrible. You didn't pick me. So the president says, don't worry. I'm going to let you, every day, you are going to be the guy who's going to come with me inside, and I'll let you be there saying the morning Pledge of Allegiance. Is that really a comfort? Does that make up? Is that enough to address the issue? It doesn't substitute. Here, I wanted to be part of the inauguration day. I'm not in the inauguration. You tell me, don't worry, you'll be there for the rest of your life. Okay, that's nice, but that doesn't add up to inauguration day. Opening day is opening day. There's only one of those, right? You wanted someone to come give you a toast at your wedding. You invited 5 friends to give you a toast. You invited 5 people to march, right? Here we go. Here's the good example. You have 5 friends that you invited to march. Your best friend says, oh, you didn't invite me to march. You say, don't worry. Me and you every day will go for a walk on the boardwalk. We'll go marching for miles. Right? Doesn't make up. Not enough. Your wedding, right? YOLO. You get married once. I wanted to be there marching at the wedding. You could give me 1,000 other marchings for the rest of time. That's not going to make up for one marching on the wedding. You only get one of those. So that's the Ora Hayim's question. That's the question that he asks. Number 1. Number 2. Another question. If you're trying to satisfy and pacify Aharon for not being part of inauguration, so how do you do it? You tell him that it's okay. You're going to light the menorah forever. 1 second. Why that mitzvah? Why did God pick that one to appease Aharon? I have a better one. The fact that every day Aharon performed the Beit HaMikdash sacrifices. Why did God have to pick the lighting of the menorah? Why that one to appease him? Besides for lighting, he also did 100 other things. He brought korbanot, he did the ketoret. So if you're going to pick something to appease him, don't worry, Aharon, you have better. They only did it 1 time, you did it 1,000 times. He did a lot of things 1,000 times. Why, of all of those things, does God pick the lighting of the menorah? That's question number 1. That's question number 2. גם בהקרבת חנוכה עצמה של כל הנשיאים, הרי הוא מקריב. לא מלאו אלא בן. Another question. Aharon, by the way, on opening day, it's true that these 12 princes, each one brought a korban. But who actually sacrificed that korban? The prince didn't put it on the altar. The prince just brought it on the wagon. Who took it from their hands and put it on Mizbeach? Each one was Aharon. So if I'm God, I could tell Aharon, you were part of it. You were part of every day. You had all 12. Right? So these are the 3 questions of the Ora Hayim. והתיישב העניין בתת לב למה שאמרו במנחות. He says we can answer this based on what the rabbis say in Menachot. And it's amazing that we get to learn things like this. I never knew, by the way. I'm learning it now through here. V'zeh leshonam. Our rabbis say in the Gemara, Masechet Menachot, it's not a Masechet that many people get to, unless you study in brisk yeshiva, where they study kochim. But otherwise, you're not going to usually get to this one. V'zeh leshonam, this is what our rabbis say over there. Ketzad oseh, what was the procedure of preparing the menorah, the lamps? Mesalkan, umanihan ba'ohel, umekanhan besfog, v'noten bahem shemen atkan. Wow. Over here, the Gemara says very clearly, the menorah was one block of gold, right? It was very complicated to make. Imagine, you needed like Michelangelo. You needed to sculpt, right? To etch out the tiniest flower detail in the block of gold. Very hard, right? How many pieces was the menorah? The whole menorah, how many pieces was it? You would think one piece. It's one block of gold. You just said. Not one piece. Gemara says it was all one piece except for the lamp. On the 7 lamps, remember the 7 cups, 7 half cups, right? That you're filling up with oil and you're putting a wick. The 7 lamps. Those 7 lamps, the Gemara says, were not attached to the menorah. Right here, Hidush. They weren't attached. They were screwed in at the end of the day. They fill it up with oil, they light it, and in the morning, he would have to take them off, sponge them, clean them, put oil, and put them back. So this opinion holds that the menorah's bowl was not attached. There is an opinion there that argues, but he agrees that the stem that attached the bowl to the rest of the body was very thin, and it was movable, it was bendable. And he bent every day, at the end of the day, he would bend the lamp in the morning down to clean it. Right? He would bend it down, clean it, and then bend it back up. Okay? Now, so what is that? Okay, that's nice. That's nice to know, but what does that have to do with anything? So he says, Ani omer ilu hayiti sham, or Haim says, if I was there, if I was part of that Bet Midrash argument on that day, hayiti mochiach, vedan lefnehem haketuvim, delo kvi'i nerot. I would have presented evidence to side with the first rabbi, that they weren't attached. What's his proof? He's going to bring 3. Harishon, Mashe Matinu. Proof number 1, we find, K'shezkir kol pratei ma'aseh menorah, when the Torah recounts the construction of the Mishkan and all its parts, it mentions over there, right, the menorah. Go to Shemot, like I said, back to the end of the book of Shemot, chapter 37. Lo izkir prat zeh she'asa lemul penei menorah ya'iru. Over there, it doesn't say that when you construct, when you sculpt the Mishkan, that you should make sure to sculpt it in a way that the lamps on top, each lamp, it wasn't a circle on top of the lamp. There was a tiny spout. There was a spout that he would lean the wick on a diagonal. Because like we said, the candles all had to face the middle one. So that means that the candle that you put, the wick, had to lean on a spout. So every lamp had a spout facing the middle. Now, if it's true that the lamp was fixed in the menorah, so the commandment of the spout facing the middle should have been right there in the construction of the menorah. When you're building it, make sure to build it in a way that the spout's facing the middle. And now, forever, it'll be like that. You'll always have, because they're not movable. If they're not movable, then it's always going to face the middle. So he says over here, why does it leave out the fact that they have to face the middle? If the lamps were affixed to the menorah, then the place to mention this fact would have been back there. Why does it say it here? It says here, every day, Aharon, make sure that the spouts face the middle. So you see that the spout was movable. Because if they're not movable, why do you have to command them to face the middle? They're always there. There's no commandment here. Very nice proof. Another proof, it says, Parashat Bamidbar, above we saw, chapter 4, it says that anytime that they would travel, the Leviim had to come, the Kohanim came and they covered the vessels, and then the Leviim would carry those vessels. It says when the Kohanim covered the vessel, it says, V'lakehu beged techelet v'chisud menorat hamaor. They shall take a techelet clothing, that's turquoise. They should take a turquoise covering, cover the menorah, ve'et neroteha, and also its lamps, ve'et malkaheha, and also its tongues. So you see the pasuk's listing each thing individually. The menorah, and the lamp, and the tongues. So you see the lamp is not part of the menorah. If the lamp was part of the menorah, then you didn't have to say lamp separately. Once you're telling me cover the menorah, automatically you're also covering the lamps. That's proof number 2 that they were detached, or they were able to be detached. Vadai she'enam kivuim. That's why you had to specify them individually. And one final proof. It says in Divrei Hayamim, it says over there, menorot v'nerotehem. The pasuk lists that Shlomo made the menorah and the lamp. So you see, menorah and lamp are separate. Amazing, 3 proofs from Orah Hayim for one of the opinions over there in the Gemara. וגם ראיתי לרש"י שם שכתב וזה לשונו להוציא מלב מפרשים נרות היו עשויים מגופה, that this pasuk in Divrei Hayamim, even Rashi over there explains that this pasuk proves that the nerot were detached from the menorah's body. Wow. So this is very interesting, by the way. I never knew that. I don't know if you knew this. Raise your hand if you knew this one. I didn't know this one. That the lamp wasn't actually part of the body of the menorah. It's 2 separate items. Okay? So, he says over here, Ukfi. Now, all of this is nice, but again, how does it address the original questions? He says, Kefize naskil nekavanat teshuvat Hashem laHaron. Now we can understand God's answer to Aaron. Ki Aaron haya mitaneach al hanukat mizbeach. Aaron was distressed about inauguration. Heshivo kadosh baruch hu hayecha, and God says, don't worry, by your life, yours is greater because you have the menorah. What was the comfort over here? What was the consolation? Perush. And this is it, says the Orah Hayim. Maaseh menorah. This act of taking down morida nerot, undoing the lamp. Umanihan be'ohel, placing them in the ohel. Mekanham, and then cleaning them. Vehozeru boneh, and then rebuilding the menorah. Aharon, there was a daily rebuilding of the menorah. Every day, mehadash. You had to rebuild it, to reassemble the lamps. They weren't like that forever. Every other vessel was built and it stayed like that forever, right? It was a permanent Lego, right? Some Legos you build permanently. Once you build it, you're not undoing it, right? When you buy that very complicated Statue of Liberty Lego, right? You're not undoing that Lego when you're done building it. That God, right? No one dare undo that Lego, right? You'll kill them, right? You build a Lego and you put it there forever. But some Legos are meant to build and to undo. The menorah was a daily Lego. Every day they built it and they undid it. Mehadash umadlika, and then he would relight it. Harehu kol yom oseh me'aseh hadash. So in this way, since the menorah was rebuilt each day, it's like a new action. It's like an inauguration. So mehanechu menorah. Aaron was inaugurating the reassembled menorah with each and every lighting. You understand what he's saying over here or no? What he's saying over here is very, very interesting. He's saying that the appeasement wasn't that you get to do something every day. The appeasement was in a way that you are inaugurating every day. Every day is a new day. Every day it's a new menorah. Every day it's a new service. Every day you're taking it down, you're cleaning it, you're reassembling it. It's opening day every day. Now you wouldn't know that from the Mizbeach. The Mizbeach was fixed. When he came on day 2 to the Mizbeach, it was the same Mizbeach as yesterday, nothing new. But when it came to the menorah was disassembled and then reassembled. It had to be rebuilt. And therefore, Aaron, in a way, he wanted to be part of the inauguration. God says, you are part of the inauguration. It's a new menorah. Once you took it down and you fixed it, you put it back together, it's a new item. And Aaron was able to now feel like he's part of the inauguration. So So Aharon was inaugurating the menorah every day. The Nesiim inaugurated the Mishkan only once. So that's why God says your portion is greater than their portion. That, by the way, now also explains the kefil, the repetition. Daber el Aharon ve'amarta. We asked, what's the repetition? Daber ve'amarta. Dibur hatzarich lemitzvah. Ve'amarta ma'aneh rach. Hamiyashev hadad mahushata. So he explains over here that Dibur, Daber is the commandment. Dibur is say, command. You should light it every day. But within that commandment of authority, there's also a soft message. And that soft message was to Aharon's distressed spirit. Shehal shadato shel Aharon. That he was a little bit, again, upset that he wasn't part of the inauguration. So God says, Aharon, you get to inaugurate every single day. And that's the word Daber ve'amarta. I think this Orah Hayim, my friends, really gives us something, a very powerful lesson. You know, the Pasuk says, and we'll end with this thought over here. The Pasuk says, Vayas ken Aharon. Aharon did so. Aharon did this. Every morning, he would make sure to face the candles to the middle. El mul penei menorah. So, you're Aharon. Moshe told you, make sure, God told me to tell you, that every morning you should make sure to attach the lamps facing inward. And the next pasuk says, and Aharon listened. Vayas ken Aharon. And look at Rashi over here. Vayas ken Aharon. Lehagid shibho shel Aharon. This tells you his praise. Look at Aharon, what a praiseworthy guy. Shelo shina. He didn't change. He listened exactly to what Moshe said. Psh, wow, this is praiseworthy. Hazak Baruch Aharon. Good for you. You listened and you followed the instructions of Moshe. That's what Rashi writes. And really, you read this Rashi and a little bit you chuckle. You say, really? Aharon gets a Hazak Baruch for following instructions? I mean, I don't want to boast, but this morning I put tefillin. Okay, and I promise you, I did it exactly like the halakha says. The halakha says to put on your arm 7 times. I did it 7 times. And put it 3 around the head. I put it 3 times. I put it in your head. I put it right here. I didn't change this morning from the tefillin. I didn't change. There's no pasuk about me. Ariel lo shina vaya'as ken Ariel. Doesn't say that anywhere. I'm looking for the pasuk that says that I did it the way God said. I mean, I'm sure there's many things that you do that are correct, lehalacha. What's so praiseworthy that Aharon, he followed the instruction? Everyone follows instructions. Yeah? What's the praise? What's the shevah? What's the shevah that we're giving Aharon? I think there are 2 answers to this. Number 1, shivho shel Aharon means not that he didn't change from the service. Of course, he didn't change. He was told, he did it the right way. But shelo shina means he didn't change. He himself as a human being didn't change. Human nature is a lot of times in life, when we taste success, when we become big, we become different. Sometimes success gets to a person's head. They change. They become a little bit arrogant. They become less friendly. They become less considerate. You see a lot of times a guy, when he's nobody, you see them in shul, they're praying, they're learning, they're kind, they're polite, they're patient, they're listening, what do you need? I could help, Rabbi. Right? Then you see a guy, 10 years later, he started making money, started tasting success. Now all of a sudden, we say like in Arabic, Bishuv Halo, he sees himself, he feels like his head got big. Now you try to talk to him, he doesn't even look at you, he gives you like 3 seconds, and he's rushing you, and he's like, oh, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, nice to see you. Shabbat shalom, yeah, Shabbat shalom. And he walks away as if, who are you to talk to me, right? Sometimes, and we saw this yesterday, that Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. We saw that Hashem should bless you, Yevarechecha, but Yishmerecha, He should also protect you from that blessing, the Orah Hayim said. Because sometimes in life, the blessing itself is a curse. The blessing brings the person so much money that it actually divides him from his family. It actually separates him from his spouse. he actually doesn't have time anymore for his kids. He's so blessed that it actually is the source of his curse. The guy became the worst guy now. Everyone wishes he would go back to being poor. He was the nicest, the best life. Now he's rich. He doesn't know what to do with his money. He's vacationing in the wrong places. He's doing the wrong things. He's addicted. He's drinking. He's doing horrible things. Sometimes the money destroys a person. Destroys the person. Success gets to a guy's head. He leaves planet Earth. He leaves. He's gone. He's so much bigger than everyone. He's better than everyone. He doesn't have time for anybody. The praise of Aharon is not that Aharon didn't change how he lit. No. That the lighting didn't change who he was. That he was able to light every day and still not become arrogant. That when he went and he said hello to his friends from high school, he didn't look down at them. Now, I'm a big shot. I'm Kohen Gadol. Who are you? What did you do with your life? I live on this block. Where do you live? I vacation here. Where do you vacation? I was able to throw this type of wedding. How much did you throw? Aharon was able to look at the same people from his youth and not look down at them. Lo shina. It didn't corrupt his character. It didn't change who he was. That's something very, very hard. Success gets the people to stay humble. Shelo shina. He didn't change. That's very powerful. That's a high level. That's praiseworthy. That's praiseworthy. That the same Aharon HaKohen, who is now big shot, that he is the guy who is Rodef Shalom, that he's the guy that when he sees people fighting, he tries to make peace. He tries to put everyone together. He cares about people fighting. And he doesn't try to make peace. Some people, they try to make peace out of arrogance. Because I'm the guy that can make peace. I'm the Hashuv guy, the community. I'm the one. Right? It wasn't from arrogance. Aharon, humble. Lo shina, he didn't change. He stayed a humble guy. He stayed down to earth guy. That was him. That's praiseworthy. That's shelo shina. That's one idea. It's important that we allow ourselves always, whenever we're doing things in life, whenever we become, the more successful we become, to stay humble. And there's things that we have to do to stay humble. We have to give tzedakah. Tzedakah keeps me humble. Tzedakah is a reminder, it's not my money. It's not my success. Hashem gave it to me. He could have given it to him. He chose to give it to me. I don't know why. I'm blessed. I'm not smarter. I don't have better tactics. I don't even know how to say a proper sentence in English without messing up. So what is it that I have that he doesn't have? So tzedakah, ma'aser, my friends, ma'aser, you have to be giving ma'aser. You have to give. Someone told me yesterday that it was a big deal that he was trying to close for a long time. I don't know if it was a year or even, but many months he was trying to close a deal. And he told me, I saw him yesterday, the guy was jumping up and down, cloud nine. I said, looked very happy. He said, Rabbi, we just closed today the deal of the decade. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. And I said, wow, Mazal Tov, beautiful, Hazak Baruch. And he said, and I'll tell you the trick. I'll tell you what I did. Someone told me to do this, he said. Someone told me, write the check for tzedakah before you close the deal. Write the check and save the date. And he says, that's the first thing I did. I put it in the drawer. It was been sitting in the drawer for months. And every day I open my drawer and I see the check and I remind myself, Hashem's the one in charge of closing this deal. And he's the partner. He's the partner. And really God could ask for 50, by the way. He could ask for 50%. He's very generous. He only makes us give 10. And really, you should know 10 is the minimum. It should be 20 if you have more money, 20 ideally. But, okay, 10 is the minimum. We should make sure we're giving tzedakah. But that's a beautiful way of keeping us humble, my friends. Of keeping us grounded. Of not becoming arrogant. It's important, when sometimes, another way, by the way, of keeping humble is sometimes things don't go our way. Sometimes there's a failure, sometimes a setback. Those are nice. I know it sounds weird, but really those are very nice. Those things keep us humble. You're not that good. They actually keep us protected. They keep us from flying away. It's okay. It's okay sometimes when you have a bad day. It's a wake-up call. Earth to Ariel. You're not that good. Don't forget about Hashem. Don't forget about your wife. Don't forget about your kids. Don't forget about your values. Right? You're not amazing. You're okay. You're just okay. Those things, they're good. They help deflate the ego. Again, nothing to do with being low self-esteem. Two separate topics, completely unrelated. Completely unrelated. I'm not saying you should have low self-esteem. You should have amazing self-esteem. But you should be humble. Humble means realizing that my success is actually not only mine. Many people, because of them, I'm where I am today. And secondly, not allow my success to get to my head. To allow it to keep me here. To keep me with my values intact, uncorrupted. So that's one idea of להגיד שבחו שלא שינה. But there is another idea. להגיד שבחו, you know what the praise of Aharon is? That he did the menorah, that he followed the instruction. The praise is that he was able to light every day שלא שינה, without any deviation from his excitement. I put tefillin today. It's true. I didn't change anything from the halachot, but I promise you my tefillin this morning, unfortunately, it wasn't the same as the tefillin that I put when I was 13 years old. Yeah? But 20 years ago, my tefillin today and then were very different. The first day I put it, I was so excited. I was, wow. Right? There was also a cameraman, definitely helped. But, there's, right? The first time you stand there, you put the thing, you say Shema. Today, not the same. The greatness of Aharon is Shelo Shina. That every day when he lit the same way as if it was the first day. Lo Shina. He was so excited. He stood up to pray like it's my first Amidah ever. Right? That's not an easy thing to do. I don't know if everyone could say that. Right? We stand up many days, we're just routine. We become a little bit blah, we become whatever, just, it happens. Shelo Shina, my friends. And I think, based on the Orah Hayim that we saw today, we have an answer. How did Aharon get there? He got there because actually he had to undo the menorah every day and rebuild it every day. So a little bit in his eyes, it was a new menorah. He was given that gift that he was able to see it like a new inauguration. Every day is start over. It's a new item. He rebuilt the Lego. That's, I think, a trick for us. When we're praying, we have to find a novelty. Tefillah could get very bland if you're just saying the same word with the same kavanot without getting deeper understanding. If you want to feel prayer, you got to buy a book of Perush Tefillah, explaining the Tefillah. Every day, read a page. Not 20, not 10, not 5. Read one page. Read one page. I don't care about which part of Tefillah, any page you want. Read a page explaining. There's beautiful books today. Go to Judaica store. Rav Schwab on prayer. Beautiful. He opens up one pasuk, 10 pages. Now, you read every day a page. Now the next day when you pray, now that pasuk, it's not the same pasuk. It's a new pasuk. You said it every day for 30 years, but it's a new pasuk. You're saying it with kavanah now. You're saying it with a deeper understanding, a deeper appreciation. Right? Create a newness. There has to be a hidush in tefillah. When you're putting tefillin on, you gotta figure out a way to make that a new tefillin experience. Maybe learn about tefillin. Maybe study a bit about what you're wearing. Person's keeping Shabbat. Study about Shabbat. Learn about it. Become deeper, knowledge, richer, depth. Now you understand it differently. Now it's a new menorah. Now it's a new day. It's a new experience. It's a new pudding. It's a new praying. It's a new connection. Right? This is the trick that we learn, my friends, from Aharon HaKohen. And that is why he was able to reach a level of lo shina. That's why he was able not to change in his excitement. Because every day he woke up and he said, it's a new day. It's not the same as yesterday. Not the same. I remember hearing from my rabbi one time when I was a kid. He said like this. He said that there was a great player, a baseball player. His name was Joe DiMaggio. Anyone ever heard of him? Joe, He was a great player. And it was known about him, they say, that he would hit the ball every day. He would play baseball whenever he played on the field. He would play to his hardest. Whenever you saw him, he was never slouching. He was always giving every play 100%, 110%. He would back up the player on defense, and he would hit a ground ball out. He would run to first as fast as he can, even though he knew he was out. They asked him, how do you do that? How do you play your best every day? You play 180 games. Baseball is a long season. How many games is it a season? 160. You play a lot. 162. You play a lot of games every season, every year. A lot of games. 160. It's a lot of games. That every game you give it your all. How do you do it? Listen to what he said. This is before every game was televised. He said out there, he was on the field when they interviewed him. He said somewhere in those seats is a boy who never saw me play. And for him, I have to play my best. Amazing. This was what he had to tell himself. This was his hidush. His hidush is, it's not a new sport. It's not a new game. It's not a new team. We played this team before. It's a new kid. That kid, he never saw me. New fan. I got to play for him. So we have to find the hidush. Aharon, his hidush was he rebuilt the menorah every day. He rebuilt it. He was able to do it with that much more fervor, with that much more enthusiasm. Hashem should bless us to be able to find hidushim, to find novelties, so that our mitzvot will be done with the same love, with the same excitement. The relationship with our spouse. You're married to the same person 20 years. That relationship could get stale. How do you stay, Rabbi? How do you keep the spark alive in a marriage? How do you keep it alive? Same wife. I come home. Same one as yesterday. It gets boring, no? Only gets boring if you don't get deeper with your spouse. But she's a new person. Discover something new about them. You have to sit. You have to connect. You have to talk. You have to discover them. There's fascinating things about people. Even your wife that you're married to for decades, probably you don't know them fully. Learn more about them. Connect more to them. There's a hidush here. You fall now more in love. That's how you fall deeper in love. That comes, but you have to discover a newness. A chidush, a newness. Hashem should bless us to be able to discover novelties in everything, in everyone around us. We grow deeper, more connected. And secondly, sheloshina, that with that greatness, with that success, we as a person should never change for the worse. We should stay the same values, same compassion, same empathy, same person, B'ezrat Hashem, only growing for the better. We'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.